Here we go. The moment you've been waiting for. This is the second video of changing or swapping out this defective electrical socket here or outlet. So what I had to go do first is purchase one of these right here, which is a 15 amp 125 volt outlet. All right, as you can see here, it's pretty much the same size, same width, and it's slightly different. As you can see on this newly purchased one, the test lights is right here on the top right corner. But when you look at the one that's already in, it's on both sides of the test button and the reset button. But nonetheless, it's the same as far as voltage, right? Which is 125 volt and 15 amp. Okay, so we're gonna swap this baby out right here and put this new one in. All right, and everything should be working well as far as what this one here, that plug there, and then you have another plug there. And then also there's other plugs that's on the second level that's attached to this line here. I think it's like maybe 3 or 4 of the plugs, give or take. So once I swap this out and put this new one in, then all of those other plugs should start working again, right? So as I've said in my first video, this is my disclaimer. I'm not a licensed professional electrician or carpenter or anything like that. But, this is just little jobs that I know how to do. And, so we don't have to pay an arm and a leg, so to speak, to pay an electrician to come over to do this right here when it's something that's pretty simple to do. All right. So, of course, you're going to need a flathead screwdriver, as you can see here, to take off the cover, which is this right here. And then you're going to need a Phillips, right, to unscrew the screws that's on the sides of these right here, which is on the sides of those there, which is behind the wall. So you're going to need this right here for these, so you can disconnect the wiring and reconnect it, and the flathead to take off the cover. And the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you turn off all the electricity because you don't want to fry yourself here. You don't want to electrify yourself. So make sure that's all first, and then you do your thing. All right, so that's what we're going to get to. So I'm going to take this off, and I see you guys in a bit. Okay. Okay, so just to let you guys know how this looks here when you take off the cover. Okay, that's the cover, and that's the 2 screws that holds it in, and this is how it looks. All right. So as I've said before, you're going to need this here to unscrew this right here, so you can untorque it. Let me let this camera adjust a bit. Hold on one second. I know it's pretty dark and dim here. You can't really see it as well, but that right there. And you got another one right here. And then you got the other 2 screws on each side of this right here. All right. So this is the new one here. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same, same size, same width. And this is what we're going to swap out. All right. So just to let you guys know how that looks there. Be back in a bit. Well, okay, guys. So just to give you a visual of the 2 screws that was on each side of this outlet here that I had to unscrew for this one right here and that one down there. It should be this long here. All right. So these are the 2 screws here. That's basically holding this outlet into the wall here. All right, as you can see, it's loose here. So as I was saying, you know, these are other two screws here that's on the side, right? Just like this right here, you know, on this new one here, that's holding the wiring that's within the walls, okay? That gives this outlet its power. So I don't know if you guys can see that there, but that's one of them, and that's it. You can see it right there. All right, let me see if I can put this light on it a little bit. You can see it. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing next. Once we untorque these 4 screws, it's 2 on that side and 2 on the other side here, as you can see. And then we got to loosen up those latches there. It's 2 latches within the sockets there. And we should be able to take this one off and put the new one on. All right. And everything should be good. Okay. All right, so we're going to get to that. See you guys in a bit. Okay, so just to give you guys a quick visual here, let me see if I can try my best to hold this light to it. So as you can see, as I took out the first electrical source to this outlet, let me see if I can clear it up a little bit for you guys. All right, that plug right there, the top one, it's a plug that you can stick into a small hole that's behind this right here. As you can see, the way this plug is designed here, you know, the fibers to it, it's sort of like in a circular design, and you can stick it inside of a small tiny hole. Let me see if I can clear it up again. That's in the back of this outlet here, right? Just to give you an example, when you look at the new one here, these are small holes here. Okay, so that's where this plug is going to go into. All right, when you're swapping out this outlet, right? So it doesn't go around the screw, but the screw holds it in place when you stick it in there. And that's where you stick those electrical cords there. All right, just to let you guys know when you're dealing with something like this here. Okay, be back in a bit. Okay, and another thing, guys, just to show you, there's actually 5 lines that's connected to this outlet. All right, so you have the 4 here that I've just connected from the side here. Okay, I untorque these 2 screws here, and then you have another one that's on the bottom of the outlet here. All right, so that's the line that's to it right here. And on the new one, as you can see, it's going to go to this right here, if you guys can see it. All right, that's the one it's going to go to. And it's also a little small hole there that you stick that line into, which is this right here. All right, that's going to go into that one. Okay, so just to give you guys another visual of where the lines go when you're swapping out these outlets here. All right. Well, okay, guys, so as you can see here, we got that new one in there. All right. Give you a visual of both sides here. Oh, just to let you know, this is the old one here. All right. That's the old one that I took off. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this good here. It looks like my little lamp is starting to dim a little bit, but I'm gonna try my best to give you a visual here with the lights. Okay, so that's the new one there. We got both of the wires in there. Let me see if I can go under it here. All right, everything's tied in there in those little small grooves that I showed you. Let me see, this is them right here. See, the little small tiny holes in the back of them. All right, trying to do is the best I can with this lighting here. All right, there you go. That's where those wires that's in the back of this went into. All right, so everything's tied in there, and also you got the bottom one that I've showed you. This is the bottom of this here, of the old one. All right, and that little small groove there. Not too sure if you guys can see that, but okay, there it is there. You can see it a little bit, just a little bit there. Let me see if I can adjust this just a little more. All right. There it is right there. That's where that bottom one that's on the left side here went into. All right, as you guys can see, it's right there, the brown sort of colored one there. All right, so everything's in there. So the only thing that's left to do now is get these two screws here. Okay. Or you can use the new ones, right? There's one that's already on there, as you can see. Okay, and just sort of push that back into the slot and put the covering back on it. This is the cover. This is the old one, by the way, but as you can see, it fits perfectly right around the new one. All right. So that's the only thing that's left to do. Just like I said, it's very quick, very simple. Just got to take things step by step, have a little idea of knowing what to do. And it's a quick job, you know. Make sure that you get the right outlet that's for the power of your home, okay, which is 15 amp, 125 volt. I believe some of them come higher. You know, it all depends on how strong you want your output for the outlet, right? So that's all you have to do, and make sure you go step by step. And you know, if you need to, you know, look at a couple of electrician videos that's licensed electricians, and they'll show you step by step of what to do with these things, right? You know, and you can save yourself a bit of money, you know, swapping out these defective outlets here. All right, so that's all I have to do next. I just have to just sort of slide this in, just like this here, and everything should be good. And I'll put on the cover, and we should be good to go. All right, so be with you guys in a bit. Well, okay, guys, once again, just to give you a quick visual of where I'm at. Okay, so as you can see, that's the old one there. And also, you can see I have my little mini lamp here. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I've meant to start the video with, but I couldn't find it for some reason. But now I found it, and I'm actually, excuse me, to have better lighting here. So this is the old one, okay, that I took out. And like I've said, I'm going to use the screws that goes into the wall here. The old screws, because it's much longer. I could have used these here, but they're kind of small, you know, and I didn't want to just jam it in there and mess up the toweling that's around it. So it's best that I've used those long screws there. All right, so this is pretty much a done deal. You know, I put the two screws in there, and you know, it's almost finished. I'm just screwing these in. Of course, as you should know, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey when you're screwing any kind of, or torquing, I should say, any kind of screw or bolt or anything, all right? So that's what we're doing here now. We're just torquing this in. As you can see, it's going in there. I like to sort of like do each side a little bit by switching up so I can make sure it get in there nice and even. Okay, there we go. That's on the wall there pretty tightly. You don't want to torque it too much because you don't want to strip it. Okay, and there you have it. Just make sure it's just nice and tight up there. Okay, I'm glad that I found this little lamp here that I've been looking for, so you guys can actually see what the heck I'm doing here. All right, so there it is. It's done. You know, it's in there pretty tight. I can't even move this thing, right? And I have the choice between my new cover or the old cover. All right. And then, of course, you know, these are the two screws here that holds the cover. Okay. And that's it. As you can see with the old cover, it fits right on there. You know, that's the hole there on the top there for this here, which is on the cover. And as you can see, that goes right on there. All right. So that's how you do it. And this job is done. So once I put this on there and turn on the power, this should be working like a charm. All right. So that's how you exchange your faulty plug outlet here. All right. Which is your relay outlet. All right. And then I actually have another one that I have to do on the other side of this wall here, which is surprisingly I didn't know was faulty too, because I was looking at the red light beep on this one right here, and as it shows on the outlet itself, it says it's faulty when you see the red light going on and off. All right, as you can see. Let me see if I can sort of clear it up for you guys a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see it. Okay. So I'll be doing that one next. All right. And that should turn on all of these plugs that's on this wall here. Got one right there. All right, and then all of the other plugs that's upstairs. Okay, this is the whole wall that goes to the second level. That should turn on those plugs there. But this plug here that I'm working on right now should fix these plugs here. You got one here, you got one there, here, and then you got the other plugs that's upstairs. All right. So like I've said, this job is pretty much done. I just got to put these two tiny flathead screws in and torque them to the right torque amount, and this job is done. So like I've said, you know, if you just have a little bit of know-how, some patience, you know, you really don't need to contact a licensed electrician, you know, not to take any work away from you guys or anything like that. But I mean, you know, something that's simple like this, small job, you know, you can change this out, swap it out 1, 2, 3, if you know what to do, right? As long as you don't kill yourself by leaving on the house electricity, you know. So make sure that you definitely, I mean, emphatically turn that electricity off, because it's a lot of power, a lot of voltage running through these homes from the power lines that's outside, man. And that's what you got to do. Once you do that, you have the right tools, which is only your Phillips, your flathead, a little bit of patience, a little bit of know-how. If you need any help, of course, you know, there's YouTube videos from actual licensed professional electricians, and they can show you step by step how to do these things. All right. So this is done. And after this, I'm going to turn on the power, and these plugs should be working, and a few other plugs that's on the second level. Okay. So hopefully that you guys enjoyed this video. You know, hopefully that it can help someone who maybe going through the same thing, and hopefully that it works. All right. Well, okay, guys, one quick video here. I just wanted to demonstrate how everything is working, you know, after I installed this new plug outlet here. All right, so as you can see here, I turned the electricity back on after everything is said and done, right? But anyway, I just wanted to demonstrate how everything is working the way it's supposed to after installing the new electrical outlet here, right? I couldn't leave you guys hanging, so I decided to put this at the end of the video here, all right, to show you guys. So as you can see here, I torqued in the cover here, and I have my electrical can opener and the blender here. All right, so we're going to turn this on. This green light should come back on when I press the reset here. Okay, so as you can see here, that's running. And we're going to try out this electrical can opener first. All right. Oh, so there you go. It's working. That's the electrical can opener. I don't even think I need to show you guys the blender here, but I mean, we're going to do it anyway, right? For the sake of the video. So we're going to plug that in there. There you have it. Everything's working the way it's supposed to. Okay, so there we go. That's how you swap out your faulty electrical plug outlet here. Like I've said, you know, at the end of the first video, you just got to have a little bit of know-how, a little bit of patience. You got to know what you're doing. You know, always practice safety first by turning off your home electricity so you don't get fried. And you should be okay, right? So all of these plugs here should be working as they should. All right. So I just wanted to add that into the video. Just like I said, I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, you know, to let you know that everything's working the way it's supposed to. All right. So once again, to the next time, I will probably film the next one on the other side of this wall here when I'm repairing that one too as well. So, all right. So to the next time.